Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of CampusCare EdTalks. I, Mehek Dhiman, your host for the show, would like to welcome you all. EdTalks, a platform where educators and leaders come on board and express their viewpoints related to education and society. Our topic for the day is developing and adding creativity to teaching, and to express her viewpoints on the same, we have with us Miss Rekha Matthew, ma'am, Director of Ed Matters Consulting Services. A very warm welcome, ma'am.
Very good afternoon.
How are you doing, ma'am? Thank you so much for being here. It's lovely to have you here.
I'm good. Happy to be associated with NTAP Campus Care.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So let's start off with the session, ma'am, shall we?
Yes.
So, ma'am, firstly, when we are talking about creativity, so do you think that creativity is an essential part of every activity that we do? Let it be teaching, let it be coming to let it be working in a corporate or anything. Do you think is it an important part?
In the very essential, creativity is very, very important and essential. In the laundry list of skills and content that we need for any person to be successful, usually in the top list, creativity doesn't come. That is because we associate creativity with, some soft skills or communication and collaboration, and we leave it there. But the creativity is an essential human skill, and it is very much associated with evolutionary process. Be it the most exotic food that we eat, or to the best of ramp walks we see in fashion shows, or simply to wade through a rainy day and reach our office, we need creativity. Okay, sometimes creativity is there, or we use creativity from the beginning of the activity, and sometimes we are forced to use creativity because there is no other go. But the complex nature of our society is such that we cannot actually function without developing this skill, and therefore creativity is very, very important in anything that we do.
I think yes, ma'am. Creativity is really important, whether it comes to any kind of work that we are doing, any
Yeah.
activity.
Yes.
So moving forward, ma'am, when we are talking about creativity and teaching, so how important is it to bring creativity in teaching for educators and for the parents also?
Yeah. From the standardized test and to curriculum that says that all size fits everyone. From that, we are seeing, creativity is not brought into the forefront, and we somehow pack it and leave it in the corner for once in a while to bring it out and show that we are creative. Okay. Now, the education system, or for an educator or for a child who's learning, creativity is become the most important skill that needs to be developed for a activity that is taking part, be it the teacher or the kid who's doing it. If activity is being carried out through creative processes, then there is intrinsic motivation. That means motivation that comes from within, not from a forced encounter. And therefore, if there is intrinsic motivation, then the students are more absorbed. They enjoy learning. It's a joyous experience. They themselves will develop skills that is required to carry out this activity. There is personal interest, there is autonomy, there is control over the task, and competence. The other factors that come into play when creative forces or juices are running is higher order cognitive skills, problem solving, critical thinking, making connections, and the child or the teacher is able to connect the current knowledge to the prior knowledge. Creativity is, whenever we use creativity, is through trial and error method, and therefore a lot of productive struggles come into picture. Productive struggles is, in other word, what commonly we call as failures. And when we overcome that, it builds resilience. So there is a lot to be achieved through creativity. Creativity is also very important for struggling students. Sometimes children are not able to fit into the format that now we are prescribing in education. So if you allow creativity to come into play for them to learn, they will do much better than what they are doing now.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was, a very well explained by you that how should, why, teaching, why there should be a creativity in teaching. So moving forward, ma'am, do you think that, developing skills, that, the educator should develop skills to become a creative educator now, and how exactly will that help, in the learning process?
Yes. Now, for a person to become creative, when you say that, especially an educator, the first thing is to incorporate some fluidity. That means to come out of that comfort zone and come out of that, fixed mentality kind of process that we use. The second thing is focus more on the process than the end results. We are so focused on the end results. We want the shortest method in the shortest amount of time. We want to finish that activity or finish that teaching or learning or whatever that we are doing. So if we focus on the process, then learning becomes much more significant. There's a lot that will come up as we are using the creativity in the process, because each content will lead us to a different area, and much more can be learned if creativity is used. So basically it is to come out of the comfort zone, experiment newer methods, incorporate that which the child can enjoy. And if the teachers can do this, there is end to what can be achieved.
Absolutely, ma'am. So, I think, being a creative educator in, today's time, it's really important. So, how exactly, it will improve the learning process according to you?
The rote learning that we are seeing, that is changing a lot with NEP now coming up, that will be a history part for us now. If creative process are used, then this learning is going to be very joyous. It will be done with intrinsic motivation, no forcing and nothing like that. Lifelong learners, every educator want their kid to be lifelong learners. That will happen if we are using creativity in learning. It will be impactful learning. There'll be problem solvers. Our children will become innovators, job ready. They'll be the society builders and change makers. So it is this is the significance of learning process, and how we can incorporate different kinds of creativity according to the need of the classroom. And if the educators can work on it, there's nothing like it.
Absolutely, ma'am. And when it comes to, become being a creative student or a creative person, so how do you think one can, help themselves to be creative? How can we, think outside the box?
I had read somewhere that even if you do a small change in your morning routine, for example, you are taking route A to reach your office, route A to route B, if that is your office is in B. Then if you try to change that route and come through some other route the next day, they say n number of neurons will brighten up or light up, even if you make such a small change. There is creativity even in finding out a newer pathway.
Yeah.
So imagine the possibility of it in a classroom, be it a poetry or literature or science or social science, whatever it is. If we can first understand our creative abilities, plus understand what is the child's choice and learn through that, so much can be done.
Absolutely, ma'am. So much can be done. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here today. It was lovely having you here and
Thank you.
listening to your experiences.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Have a great day. And for
Yeah.
all the viewers watching us out, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stuff like this. Thank you, ma'am. Have
Thank
a good day. Bye bye.
you. Bye.